Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nancy. Thank you so much guys for stopping by. I really appreciate. If you are new here, thank you so much. You're welcome. Remember to hit that red subscription button down below and subscribe to my channel. And if you're not new here, thank you so much guys for your continued support. I really appreciate. So today's topic, we are looking at how to never lose yourself. um, Looking back at my life, I see those moments when I almost lost myself, or let me just say, moments when I lost myself, because in those moments, I found myself feeling as though I was stuck between a rock and a hard place. And so, in those moments, I found myself really just questioning God to say, Lord, why are you still keeping me alive? And it's not that I was suicidal or anything, but in those moments, I remember I was desperate for answers. I needed answers because I felt as though my life had lost meaning. I felt as though um, my existence was meaningless. And so um I found myself battling it in my heart and mind, because I felt as though I had reached a dead end. I couldn't think anymore. Like, I felt my heart shrinking within me because I just didn't I couldn't understand what was happening. I did everything that I could. I remember trying to read, those self-help books and stuff, motivational books, consuming positive content on YouTube. But I found that all those things didn't really help me. And so when I found myself in those challenging situations of my life, I felt as though I lost myself, or um, I almost lost myself. What I mean by losing myself is that, when you find yourself in a situation where you've done everything that you could, you've tried this and that, and nothing seems to be working out, you find that frustration kicks in. And when frustration kicks in, we most of us tend to give up on life. What I mean by giving up on life is that most of us tend to just lose our way. For example, most of us dive into excessive drinking, excessive partying, and we just become addicted to something. Others, it could be that they become addicted to sex, they become womanizers. And for us women, we just you just start dating people for the sake of passing time and things like that. So, there are those moments when we feel frustrated with life and you just don't care anymore. And that's what I mean by losing yourself. So I found myself in those moments when I was really cornered. I was on the verge of losing myself, literally on the verge of losing myself. And so I wrote down a few things here that I believe helped me to um, get back on track. And I remember um, during those moments, I would read all those self-help books, motivational books, listen to motivational speakers. And I remember that none of those things helped me. So I've listed down things that I believe, you know, things that I truly believe helped me to get over those difficult situations in my life. I know that I have this personal mantra that I carry with me, that whenever I find myself in situations where I have no control, or circumstances where I have no control, then it means that I have to control myself. But in those moments, it was very hard to really just control myself because I wanted that change in my life. I was desperate for that change in my life, for that shift in my life, for things to just improve, for something new in my life. And I know that this isn't a unique experience, and most of us right now, we could be in that situation or have been in that situation at a different time in our lives. And so I know for most of us, like different things helped us to overcome those moments in our lives. But for me, I've listed down things that I believe, truly believe from my heart of hearts, that these are the things that really just got me through those difficult situations in my life. So the first thing that I've listed here is prayer. And I want to say that prayer really has gotten me through the toughest and hardest situations in my life. And I believe that, excuse me, and I believe that prayer has protected me from unseen harm. It has protected me from things that I felt that I needed at the time but didn't really need them, And I want to encourage you to pray. I know that in today's world, most of us have given up on prayer. Most of us are thinking in a scientific way. We want to believe in things that we can prove. We want to believe in realities that we can see. But I want to encourage someone out there to say, pray, like believe in the power of prayer. Pray before you tell anyone your problems. Tell it to God, and you find that at the end of the day, you have nothing to say to other people. No wonder in this life there are people who seem to be always joyous. There are people who seem to be always happy. There are people who seem to be always unbothered. And it really just bothers other people to say that, how come this person is always happy? How come this person is always positive, is always joyous, always smiling, as if everything is okay in their lives? Things might not be okay on the outside. I remember when I was going through the hardest moments of my life, and like no one really knew the battle that was within me. But on the outside, I would, smile and wave and stuff. It was business as usual. But within me, I was going through a battle that every night I would cry myself to sleep. But really, what got me through those difficult situation and just gave me that strength to carry on every day was that I took my burdens to the Lord in prayer, and really my burdens were lifted at Calvary. I don't want to sound like a preacher, but I want to give you guys like things that helped me and things that still help me, you know, even up to today, to get me through difficult situations in my life. And the second thing that I want to talk about here is hope. Have hope. Hope for the best for your life. And the Bible says hope that is seen is not hope. Because most of us, like I said, we have these scientific minds. Like, we want to believe something that we can see. We want things that we can prove. We want things right here and right now. We don't want to live we don't want to live the illusion of hope or faith or whatever. But I want to encourage you to say that keep hoping. Even though something is not visible yet, even though something is not in sight yet, keep hoping for the best for your life. And really, when you live with that hope, one day that hope will not be disappointed. The third point that I want to talk about here is believe. We need to have a strong sense of belief that everything that happens in our lives is all part of the bigger plan. And so we have to keep calm every time we go through difficult circumstances in our lives. We have to believe that, at the end of the day, the bits of experiences of our lives one day will become that bigger picture, and will understand why things in our past happened in the way that they did. And I think most of us can attest to the fact that looking back, there are moments when you say to yourself, if I had gone in that direction, I thank God for leading me in the other direction. I don't think I'd have been happy. And so sometimes, when we go through those difficult situations, sometimes it's just God, I believe, redirecting our lives, because most of us, if God told you to say, go this way, when it's happening where we are, most of us wouldn't obey. So what God does is He brings travel to a place where you are so that you can leave that place and go where He wants you to go. With everything that happens in our lives, we have to believe that everything is happening for a reason. We find that we've done all that we can and nothing seems to be changing in our lives. And I believe that this is a time to put our tools down and just believe, believe in God's plan for your life. God's will is greater than anything that we will ever want to do. God's will is greater, and at the end of the day, God's will take place. The third point that I want to share with you guys is that keep moving. I know the temptation is huge for us to whine and wallow, to have our pity parties and stuff, for us to complain endlessly. But at the end of the day, in as much as you cry, in as much as you complain, in as much as you feel self-pity, and I'm not saying that you should be strong, put up a front and just pretend as though everything is okay. No, cry if you must. Cry if you must, complain if you must, but at the end of the day, you need to gather your strength and keep moving. I remember a time when I was going through a hard situation in my life, and I remember that it was an exam period, and I said to myself, you know what, if I dwell on self-pity here and take self-pity to the exam room, self-pity will not help me pass my exam. So in as much as I was having that pain within me, I had to study. I had to force myself to study. And I remember I would go write my exams, study afterwards, and cry myself to sleep, cry myself to sleep. And that became the norm for me. And at the end of the day, I passed my exams, because if I didn't show up, if I didn't keep moving, I wouldn't have been done with my school. I would have probably repeated a semester or repeated that course and stuff. And I have learned that sometimes pain is gain, and sometimes pain becomes a source of unimaginable strength. So it's up to us to harness that pain and use that pain, to gather ourselves up, to gather the little strength that we have, to gather that last atom of our strength and to just keep moving. Lastly, I want to mention that embrace your journey. With everything that happens in this life, we should not expect others to understand. Don't expect everyone around you to understand what you're going through. Only you know what you're going through, and I believe that because of that, solutions will be thrown at you. People will try to come and fix you or to come and fix your situation. And I'm not saying that do not seek help or take people's advice, but what I'm saying here is that at the end of the day, your life is your own. You take ownership of your life, and whatever happens in your life, you need to embrace the journey. Only you know what you want for yourself. And this reminds me of the first instance when I was single, and I remember that time I was desperate for a relationship that would lead into a marriage, because I just got tired of people asking me, when are you getting married? You're getting old, just getting that pressure from people. And so in that moment, I found myself really just desperate. And I started, listening to people, and people would recommend people that I should date. People came in with all their advice and just find that solution for me, trying to help me and stuff. But in as much as all that was being done, I knew what I wanted. Like, I knew what I was looking for. And so I had to embrace my journey. I knew that this is a season of my singleness, and I knew that I had to embrace. And if you've watched one of my other videos where I talk about being single, turning 30 and unmarried, having no kids, I resonated with the fact that, you know, if it means for me being single for the rest of my life, I will be single. I accepted my situation. Like, if I won't find that which I'm looking for, you know, if I won't find that connection that I'm looking for with someone, then for me, if it means being single, then I will be single. I resolved within myself to say, if it means being single, I will be single. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'll find other ways in which I'll enjoy, you know, my life apart from being married. And so I made that resolution and I was serious about it, you know. And so I want to encourage you to also embrace your journey. Only you know what you want. You know, people will throw in solutions, people will try to fix you, to fix things around you, but at the end of the day, you know, listen to your inner self, listen to your soul, listen to that inner voice, because at the end of the day, that's what guides us and leads us. You know, most of us refer to that as energy. That's just intuition. It's like God puts this, you know, small silent voice in our hearts and minds to just guide us in a way, in the way in which we should go. And so having said that, I also believe that life really is a process of losing yourself and finding yourself. And also life is a process of learning and unlearning. But I know also that most of us, uncertainty scares us. You know, it scares me as well. But I want to encourage you to say that, you know, in as much there's uncertainty about life, about the future, our lives are in the hands of someone who deeply and truly, you know, cares about us and loves us, you know, with an indescribable love, you know, unimaginable love. Like the Bible says, we can't comprehend, you know, God's love. We think we know God's love, but we don't know just how much God loves us. And so really, in as much as we go through these hard times, we must keep calm and know for a fact that our lives are in the hands of someone who really deeply, truly, madly loves us. And so I want to end with a Bible verse. I don't know what verse it is, but I know like the text. You know, for me, I don't really know verses, because when I start reading the Bible, I just read. I don't pay attention to those you know, the verse numbers and stuff. And so I want to end by saying, you know, David said to the Lord, even if you slay me, yet I will still trust you. So I want to encourage you to trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding of things as they are in the moment or as they've been in the past, but trust in the Lord with all your heart and wait on the Lord. Truly, God will answer your prayer. God always answers prayer. Thank you so much, guys, for your time to watch this video. And if this is something that resonated with you, remember to give this video that thumbs up, and also to drop me a comment down below. So thank you so much, guys, for your support. I really appreciate it.